Hello, and welcome to Marriage Unchained, the art of one flesh, where saving marriages, saving families, and saving souls is the flavor of the day. Now, let's join our host and author of Marriage Unchained, Catholic Alpha Radical. Hello, and welcome to Marriage Unchained, the art of one flesh, where saving marriages, saving families, and saving souls is the flavor of the day. Now, let's join our host and author of Marriage Unchained, Catholic Alpha Radical, Jerry Jacobs Jr.
Welcome to Catholic Alpha Radical Live, where I help you fix your Catholic marriage. I've coached and helped hundreds of men in their marriages, and now I want to help you. Call 313-RADICAL now. That's area code 313-RADICAL, and ask me anything on tough marital issues, such as what to do when she's asked for divorce, what to do when you have a mutual agreement of separation but you didn't want it, what to do when your wife is cold and distant, what to do when your wife is having an affair, what to do when your marriage is bad, boring, lukewarm, and passionless, what to do when you engage in a marital embrace less than once a month, what to do when you sleep in separate bedrooms, what to do when she has left the home with or without the children, what to do when you're divorced but didn't want it. Call 313-RADICAL. That's area code 313-723-4225. That's area code 313-723-4225. Again, call 313-RADICAL right now for answers to intimacy problems, communication problems, prayer and spiritual warfare problems, authentic masculinity problems, aka how to man up. So, sit back, relax, take a chill pill, and get ready to rock. But don't duck. Can you feel it? Catholic Alpha Radical coming at you now. And welcome to Catholic Alpha Radical Live, the podcast that helps you fix your Catholic marriage. We're also giving you winning tactics for marriage problems, girlfriend problems, and intimacy problems for men. But moreover, where my main mission is to keep you out of divorce court. And with Marriage Unchained, the art of one flesh divorce combat coaching is the flavor of the day. We're also helping men understand marriage and courting, not dating, in the Catholic faith. Why? Because dating is for sex and courting is for marriage. In this 196th episode, what to do if your wife asks you to move out. Ooh. Plus live phone calls from you answering your marriage and crisis questions. So don't wait. Oh, but if you are getting value throughout this podcast and you would want to help others in their marriages and give them some information, please share this. Please share this and also give it a big thumbs up. So getting that cue for some resolution to your marriage confusion. And now we have our quote of the day. And as we always do, so let's do this. Quote, when it is all over, you will not regret having suffered. Rather, you will regret having suffered so little and suffered that little so badly. End quote. Saint Sebastian Valfrey. Bam. I've helped hundreds of men in their marriages. Allow me to help you in yours. Get live Catholic marriage help Tuesday through Thursday, 10 a.m. Eastern, for some resolution to your marriage confusion. And so let's get started for today's content. And without further ado. So why do men feel the need to move out when their wife tells them to. Oh, that's a tough one. We have that mechanism inside of us that we always want to give our wife and kids what they want because we're bonded to them, connected to them. But also, we've got to understand that a lot of times that's a false feeling, giving somebody what they want. And really, we should be trying to give them what they need that will make them happy in the end. And that's a tough concept to grab hold of. And many men, they move out because of weakness. Well, I've had guys tell me, what if that's what she wants? I'll just do whatever she wants, and maybe that'll keep the peace too. But dude, you've been trying to keep the peace. You've been doing that for 20 years, trying to keep the peace. Your marriage is boring. It has no passion. The kid's unruly, and the whole marriage, the guy's been trying to keep peace by just giving people what they want. But now you're asked to move out because that way of leadership did not work. Okay. And it's weakness. I don't want to cause any kind of upheaval. I don't want to cause any kind of, I don't want to be, do something like that because I don't want to feel uncomfortable. I don't want to. See, people think, well, men think I'm just giving her what she wants, but no, what it really is, same reason people don't discipline their kids. People don't discipline their kids for the same reason. Is as a parent, I don't want to feel the pain of having to punish my children. And so that's selfishness. Just like this moving out thing, it's a selfish act. Because for the simple reason, the husband doesn't want to feel the pain of staying and going through all that stuff of having to deal with a wife arguing with him and fighting with him and yelling at him and stuff like that and telling him all these bad, hurtful things. Okay. And it's the same thing to do with children, man. People don't really understand that. They think, well, my kid's my friend. I would never lay my hand on my kid. Man, that's crazy. What if your kid is out knocking people around and raping people, or your kid is hitting people at school, and your kid is stealing stuff? Your kid is doing all this stuff because as a parent, that parent is not disciplining the kid properly. Believe it or not, this stuff happens, man. People don't really realize their kid does all kind of stuff behind their back when they're good parents, when they discipline right. Just think what kids do behind your back when they know that there's no consequence to what they're gonna do, what's gonna happen. You're not gonna get a whooping. You're not gonna be punished you're not gonna stay in your room. You still get to have your cell phone, and you still get to watch Xbox and PlayStation, and still get to go out hang out with your friends and all of that. I mean, what is that? Okay, so it's weakness. It's selfishness. Okay, that's why guys move out. The other thing is, finally, I finally have some peace and fun. So weakness and selfishness kind of go along. It's selfish to give that person something when you know that it's wrong, that it's not, it doesn't seem right, it doesn't feel right instinctually. Also, another thing is why guys move out when their wife tells them to is because they lazy. Not having the will or drive to fight. They have no will or no drive to fight for what's rightfully given by them back to them by God. That's my house. That's my family. I pay the rent. That's my wife, and that's my children. And so laziness is I don't feel like I want to fight for that. Okay, if that's what you want, I just go ahead and whatever. Maybe it'll work out. Maybe it won't. I'll go find me another woman, try to make her happy, which is a big lie. That ain't gonna work either. And then the other thing is consequences. What are the consequences for moving out and not, doing what your wife wants when you know that you really shouldn't, right? Consequences. You lose your money, you lose property, you lose your children, you lose your wife, and you lose grace with God. You are the defender of that home. And so when you move out, you just lost grace with God. You did. Because that's your family. You're responsible for them. Okay? And we're going to go into that deeper. Now, how do husbands get to this point in the first place? How do we get to the point where our wife tells us to leave or move out? And you figure, why won't she move out? Because she probably feels, well, I got to take care of the kids. I don't want to uproot the kids. The kids going to be with me. And it's easier if he goes, right? And plus, I didn't do anything. She's thinking I didn't do anything wrong. What do I got to leave for? See how delusional people are? See how delusional they are when it's all about emotion, you know? So again, how do husbands get in this point in the first place? Well, they have put other things at a higher priority than their marriage. How many times have you heard me say that, or you heard anybody say that? That they put other things at a higher priority than their marriage. Their marriage always seems to get bumped down. When something happens, well, I can take care of that later. Something happens, I can take care of the marriage later. Something happens, I can take care of the marriage later. My wife has given me divorce papers. Oh, I'll just take care of that later. And or my wife is moving out. My wife asked me to move out. I'll just take care of that later. I'll deal with it later. And before you know it, your marriage didn't move from up here with the way it was when you first got married to now it's like in the dirt, right? It's like at a level that you don't even really comprehend where your marriage is. Okay. Another reason is they didn't have the natural order of service in mind: God, marriage, children, self, which goes along with the first thing. As a man, your job is to protect, defend, and serve. Serve. If in your home you are not serving, and that means in the intimacy department, that means serving your wife and your children daily, and making sure that there's an environment where they can prosper and thrive, you're not doing your job as a husband or father or man. Okay. And so this is why we have the thing of God, marriage, wife, children, and then ourselves as a man is last, because if we put ourselves last, no man should ever be thinking about themselves first in their marriage. Not ever. Because when we do, we become weak, we become soft, we become selfish. And because why? Evil is a habit, just like goodness is a habit. Selfishness is pure evil. It's pride. It's the reason that Satan got thrown out of heaven with his minions. I mean, it is pride is very, very a thing that will destroy our life. Okay. So this is why it's important that when we put others above ourselves, that helps keep humility in our hearts. Okay. The next thing is they stop dating their wife and making her feel special, resulting in loss of all important emotional connection. So our wives want to be dated every day. They want to be dated for the rest of their lives. They want to be courted. They want to be put as high priority. Nobody's above them. And a lot of times husbands do that. They allow the emotional connection in their marriage to leave, and it happens really, really slow. And by the time they didn't figure it out, their wife is very unhappy, and she's in another bedroom sleeping with her 5-year-old kid or something. She's not even sleeping in the same bed with us. And then the last one before the break is they stopped caring and began blaming their wife for most of the problems in their marriage. How many times have you heard guys say that? If you talk to one of your friends and he's having marriage problems and all he's talking about is what she did and what the kids did and what the job did and what his wife did and didn't do, and she should have done it like this and she should have done it like that, and she don't give me enough of this and she don't give me enough of that, he's lost. He's lost. Because as a man, if we can't look in the mirror at ourselves, then how is our wife responsible for all of that? Now, unless you have one of them crazy wife who has a mental illness or something, who's just totally crazy or something, but that's rare. Most women are just normal women that in this society that, the society has created this. So to sit there and have the gall to blame your wife for almost every single thing in the marriage, but then they'll go, well, I'm not perfect. That's what they'll tell you. Well, I know I ain't perfect, but yes, they are. They think they are. They're not going to tell you that, but they think, well, I haven't done anything. It doesn't matter if I'm perfect or not. I haven't done anything. But see, that's what his wife is thinking too. I didn't try to get him to act right, to fix, to do his responsibilities, to make me feel like a woman, to help me discipline and raise these children, and I feel like I'm by myself. And that's when it gets to a point where she's like, look, I need space. So in order to need space, one of us got to go, and I ain't going because I ain't doing it wrong. You got to go. And what do guys do? Most guys, they pack their stuff and move out. there are some guys that are very special and have a great understanding, and they go with their instinct. You're like, I'm not going nowhere. Right? I ain't moving out. I move in the basement or something, or I move in another bedroom or something, but I ain't going nowhere. You know. Okay. All right. So that's the first to get us going. So think about those things as break comes up, and when we're going to go a lot deeper into those things, but I'm gonna come back with 9 reasons that'll help you understand if you should move out or not, because it's a decision you got to make. And believe it or not, a lot of men, a lot of husbands are a lot closer to their wife asking them to move out than they think they are. Well, that's another one to think about, ain't it? So we'll be right back. Bam. If you're getting value from this podcast and would like more personal marriage help, visit SaveMyCatholicMarriage.com for an opportunity to work with me personally for free. Yes, within 30 days, learn how to become a better husband that attracts your wife back to you. Visit SaveMyCatholicMarriage.com and get a plan tailored specific to your marriage and situation. I've helped hundreds of men in their marriages. Allow me the chance to help you using my personal and gained experience. Visit SaveMyCatholicMarriage.com for superior coaching for your marriage. Again, SaveMyCatholicMarriage.com. That's SaveMyCatholicMarriage.com to become the man God created you to be and the husband your wife needs. Lastly, I always get the question, why don't you help women? And I always answer them, I do. So, for all of you beloved wives out there that want to reignite that feeling of emotional closeness and complete love from your hubby, consider marriage coaching and visit SaveMyCatholicMarriage.com for an improved marriage within 30 days. All right. Hey, we are back. And man, I don't know why that I'm seriously considering changing live stream companies. I mean, this thing makes too many mistakes that doesn't make sense, and I can't figure it out. So I'm thinking about switching. You guys won't know, but I'll know. That's what to make this show run better. But hey, it's time, right? It's time to understand what's happening with this little thing of my wife's unhappy. She says she needs space. She don't know what she wants to do. She's not smiling anymore. She's not laughing anymore. I can't even make her lip turn up into a kind of smile. Everything I do is not right. And she has decided to start telling me everything I did wrong because now the emotional connection's gone in my marriage and she doesn't care. So, and plus, I didn't told you to move out, and that's what's next. I asked you to move out, and if you here's and don't how many times you guys have heard one of your friends tell you this is divorced friends, and all of us got divorced friends. If you really loved me, you'd move out. How many times you heard one of your friends tell you that? And we all got divorced friends. It's terrible. We all know somebody that's divorced or a co-worker or something, and they tell their horror stories. If you really loved me, you'd move out. Boy, that's a tough one, ain't it? So now, getting that cue. If your wife has asked you to move out and you don't know what to do, hey, give me a call and we can talk about it. All right, 313 Radical. That's 313 Radical. So how many of these do I have? I think I do have 9. Yep. 7, 8. Yep. 9. That's right. So we have 9, and hopefully this will go quick because a lot of these things are self-explanatory. But you know me, I gotta always go a little deeper. So here we go. The first one is to decide if you're going to move out of your house or not. The first one is number 1. You lose all negotiation power when you move out. Ooh, you didn't know that one, did you? You thought, oh, she's just gonna still be nice to me and she's gonna text me and call me every day. And because the kids, we're gonna see each other all the time. And I'm gonna still be able to see what's going on in the house. Man, that's delusional. You ain't gonna know nothing. You ain't gonna know nothing. Even if your wife is one of those ones that says that and she tries to do it, her heart just ain't in it. Her heart ain't in it. So if you move out, you're not going to have any kind of negotiation with the kids. You're going to have no negotiation power with her and what she's doing. You're not going to have anything that's going on. Oh, if she wants to move another man in, then think about that one, did you? See, they tell you, oh, I don't want nobody else. That's delusional too. How many guys have told me, oh, she'll tell me, I don't want nobody else. I'm just, I don't, and man, that ain't true. That ain't true. Woman, she's unhappy, very, very unhappy. And she's emotionally confused. She don't know what she wants. She just knows right now, I'm hurt. The pain is really bad and I want to stop. So the way to do that is get you to leave. And she'll tell you anything to get you to leave. Okay? And man, also, man, once you leave, man, they ain't gonna, once you leave, it's hard to get back in. Once you leave, it's very hard to get back in, man. Because especially if she puts a restraining order against you, or she'll put a restraining order against you, or you guys get divorce lawyers involved. So once you get a lawyer and she gets a lawyer, you can't move back in unless she says you can. Before the lawyers and before the restraining order, you could just if you moved out, just pick up your bag and pack your bag and go back home, man. And of course, at first, you're going to be pissed. At first, it's going to cause a little chaos. But she'll get over it because she knows you have the right to be there. Who pays the rent? Who pays the mortgage? You are a family, so you pay the mortgage. Her check, you guys, well, first of all, your finances should be together. It shouldn't be her check, my check, her bank account, my bank account. We should have one bank account for all the bills, and then the extra money goes to, gets split between us or whatever. But for the most part, you pay the rent or the mortgage. I'm not going nowhere. I'm not going nowhere. Okay? You are out of the house. She now becomes the central power in the home and gets to make all the decisions concerning the family and the home. She will usually change the locks. Okay, that's another thing. She can change the locks on you. Your key don't even work no more. So you didn't think about that one, did you? I'm not sure. I think I had a guy and wife change the locks on him. He couldn't get back in the house if he wanted to. His key don't work no more. Okay. She becomes the decision maker in all things in the family, dude. She's the one now, and that's a shame. You have no more power. And when I say power in this situation, I don't mean power like, you're just this master head guy that God put in charge. I don't mean power. I mean emotional power, her wanting you around, the kids want you around, all that kind of stuff. That kind of power of you have a bond connection type thing. All that's gone if you move out. Okay. Now look, I can still help you save your marriage, man. Done it many times, but even if you move out, but it's a lot easier when you don't. Okay. Okay. When the lawyers get involved, here's when you can't move back in. When the lawyers, if one of you get a lawyer, if one of you file the restraining order, it's not happening. But why? Because no judge on the planet is going, if you petition the judge to let you move back in, no judge on the planet is going to do that in a domestic situation. You know why? Because what he makes y'all go back, he lets you move back in, and then one of you kill each other. Who's going to get blamed for that? The person who killed the person, your wife, you might kill your wife or she might kill you, but that's just the first blame. The big blame is on that judge. So he is not going to let you move back in your house, man. It's not going to happen. So the best way to do it is if you didn't moved out and you didn't screwed up and moved out, what you do is the very next opportunity, you pack your stuff, and when your wife is at work or whatever, you go on back home and you move on back in. Now, if the locks are changed, that's real simple too. Just go to your bank or whatever and get the mortgage or the deed. You probably already have the deed or whatever. And you call your locksmith, and then you come and you get the locksmith to get you, show him your paper, your mortgage, and say you own the place. And then the locksmith will get you, I think so, he'll get you in the house, and you're in the house, okay? So number two, to help make a decision when your wife asks you to move out, if you should move out or stay. And number two is you now have to pay 2 rents. 2 mortgages. Well, one to be a mortgage and one to be a rent. Now, look, many guys can't afford that. And if they could, they don't want to. Some guys say, well, I'll go move with my mother. I'll go move with my brother. I'll move with a friend. But that ain't cool. You tell me you're going to mooch off your mama? You're going to go move with your mama, not paying no rent, not give her $100 or $200 or something every month? You eating up her food? You sticking up her bathroom, using up her toilet paper. You're not gonna give your mama no money? Of course you are. Of course you are. Your friend, you gonna give your friend some money? Your sister or your brother to live with them? I mean, just for the inconvenience of this big grown man moving in my house. That's an inconvenience to my family, an inconvenience to me, because I'm used to my own routine, right? So you got 2 rents now. Can you afford it? Right? Some guys can, some guys can't, but that's not the point. The point of it is, why should I'm already paying mortgage one place. I'm already paying rent one place. What I got to pay 2 for? And most people, most men don't have nobody that they can live with. So what they gonna do? They got to either go get a roommate and live with them, or they got to get their own apartment, or live in a hotel or something like that. Man, that ain't cool, man. That ain't cool. And your wife, the thing about it is she don't even care. Because right now she don't even care because she's only thinking about herself, okay? So this means you'll be paying 2 housing bills, your mortgage and rent or hotel room bill. You're going to be paying all that stuff. And then what about if you get an apartment? And a lot of apartments will pay the gas and water and that kind of stuff and electric, but most of them don't nowadays, because they got too expensive. So guess what? You got to pay rent, and you got to pay electric bill, you got to pay water bill, you got to pay gas bill. You got to go get some food. I mean, if you guys got one car, now you got to get you another car because you can't be running around without no car. You got to go to work. See, man, this stuff, man, it's not, it's not that you're being an ogre by not doing what your wife's saying is doing. What you're doing is, look, man, I'm gonna fight for my marriage. If you're any kind of man, you're gonna fight for your marriage, right? So it's easier to do that in the house. It is. It's just easier. I'm not saying it's not gonna be hard. I'm just saying it's a lot easier if I'm in the house, and so just when you moving out is not the way, at least, and I'll tell you the only reasons that you can move out, that you should move out later. Okay, that's number 2. Number 3, the kids won't see you. The kids won't see you. Some guys like that though. Some guys go, hey, that's cool. I ain't got to see them Rugrats no more. I can go and do whatever I want to do. They call, I call them back. They text, I text them back. I see them once every couple of weeks or something. That's how men are, man. We, at first, when she first say move out, you go, cool, in your head. Cool, that's gonna be cool. Now I can do whatever I want, right? You have to do some stupid arrangement that neither you or the kids want to do. So the kids won't see you. You guys move out. Your wife's going to say, I would never, here's what she's going to say. I would never, ever, ever in a million years hold the kids against you. I would never do that. I would never, use the kids against you. I would never do that. What kind of woman you think I am? I still love you. I just need some space right now. And what do? Okay, I will move out. the arrangement. Why? Because your wife is only thinking of herself. That's what she's trying to do. She's only thinking about herself, her happiness. And the kids getting uprooted and running all over the place really doesn't matter to her right now. Her happiness is paramount. She has been coached. And believe me, your wife has a coach. And we'll go into that later. But your wife has a coach. And that coach is telling her, girl, this is what you should do. And she goes, I can't do that. That's my husband. And then the person goes, girl, this is what you should do. I'm trying to tell you, this is how you get rid of him. Look, y'all. I know you want to think the best about your wife. I know you do. We all do, right? That's the woman that's our mother of our children. She's the woman we promise we spend the rest of our life with. We promise we spend the rest of our life with. We spent almost all our time with her in the last however many years we've been together, 10 years, 5 years, whatever, it's how long it's been. And we want to think the best of us. We want to think that there's no way that our wife would treat us like this. We want to think that. But guys, what you've got to do is understand that right now, that is not what you need to be thinking about. Right now, I understand you love your wife, but sometimes you got to make good people do the right thing. And your wife right now has no idea what she really wants. You ask her. If you're one of them men that has their wife is asking to move out or she wants to move out, ask her, what are you doing it for? And then she'll name all the stuff you did in the past, stuff that happened 25 years ago. And you'll say, but that was like 10 years ago. And she'll just go, look, I really don't know. I just need some time. And you go, okay, what can I do to make it better? What can I do? What do you want me to do? I'll do anything. I don't know what you can do. I don't know. I just know right now that one of us needs to go. And it's going to be you. Okay. Guys, I know you want to think good about your wife. I know you do. You want to really hang on and really try to get to understand why she's doing this. But moving out is not the way. Because your kids, you will not see your kids like you think you do. See, right now you take it for granted. Most of us, we go to work, come home, and our kids are there. Or we got to pick our kids up and take them to football practice and pick them up from soccer or pick them up from basketball. We see them, and see them at home. We see them in their beds. We see them eating dinner. We see them doing their homework. And so we kind of take it for granted, right? When you move out, all that's over. All that's over until they come to your house on your visitation. And another thing, too, your visitation ain't going to be, you think you're going to see, I'm going to see them every other day or something like that. No, you ain't. You're going to see them whenever your wife wants you to see them. Because, see, your wife is in control now. See, she controls the kids now. You don't control the kids no more because you ain't in the house. You don't control nothing. Okay? So, that's one to think about too. Number 4. Let's think about number 4. So number 4 of the reasons should you or should you not move out of your house when your wife asks you to. Number 4 is you will never see her. You won't even see your wife, right? You already are gone, both of you, if your wife works, even if she doesn't work and she's a stay-home mom. You're gone. What? At least if you're a man and you work 8 hours a day, you're gone at least 10, right? You're gone. You got to get up and get dressed. You get in the car. You go to work. You got to stop and do whatever stuff you do. Then you get to work. Then you get done for work. You got all the stuff you got to do. You only see your wife at a minimum of 10 hours by the time you get back home, right? And most times, guys these days men are working more, like 9 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours, 14 hours. And so you already don't see your wife. So now you move out. She going to come home. You ain't there. The kid's going to come home. You ain't there. Right? You never see her. You'll never see her, dude. It's sad. It's really sad. But you think you are. You think you're going to be able to talk her to, well, she'll let me move back in. Really, man, it's really better that your wife move out than you sitting here thinking about it. because let her move out, you take care of the kids, she move out, and that way she can have her time to come back home when she wants to. But see, if you move out, man, she's comfortable. She's running the house. All her stuff is still there. She ain't packed and gone nowhere. She has no motivation, to do nothing. But if she's in a hotel room somewhere, or she's at her mama's house somewhere, she's gonna get tired of that. I want to go back home to my house, right? And that's a really good thing to think about. If your wife wants you to move out, what I told I would tell, I'll tell you my story about that in a minute, but let me tell you my story now. So my first wife, she died of leukemia, and we were in divorce court, okay? But before she got sick, one of the times she told me to move out. I'm like 30, 28, 29, 30, 31, that age, 32 or something. And she told me to move out. She said, I need some time. And we went, and that's how stupid I was. I'm working all the time, 12 hours, 14 hours a day. I'm thinking our marriage is good. Like she's working, I'm working, the kids are happy. Well, I've always had happy kids. I don't know why, but that was just a thing. But my thing, what I'm saying is, I thought things was cool. What did I know? I didn't know nothing. So I called my mama. I said, Mom, me and her having problems right now. Can I stay with you? At first, my mother was like, yeah, come on over. You can hang out for a little while. So I came. So I'm with my mother. And so one day I forgot something at the apartment. It was like 2 weeks later. I forgot something at the house, at the apartment. So I still, luckily my key still works. She hadn't went that far. So I go back to the apartment. I go in the house, and I'm thinking, man, it sure is clean around here. I'm like, wow, this is nice, And so then I go and look in the bedroom. It was what I needed was in our bedroom. So I go in the bedroom and I look around. I find it, and then I had to use the bathroom. So I go into our master bedroom, use the bathroom, and I go, hey, this bathroom is clean as mud, man. For years, I tried to get my wife to get a new shower curtain. You know how you got a shower curtain, man? The shower curtain got all the darn what do you call it? Hard water been built up. Only got mold on the shower curtain, and you in the shower taking the shower curtain, darn, you see the mold on the dirt thing. So my wife, man, then went out and got a new shower curtain. And that was like the end of that. I was like, hell no, heck no. You don't never plan on me coming back. And even at that age, it clicked. I was like, she is not planning on me coming back. She ain't. So y'all know what I did? You know what I did, man? I went, got my car. I locked the apartment door, got my car, drove back to my mama's house. My mom was at work, and I got my stuff, put it in my car, and I went back home, put my stuff back in my room, put my stuff back in my drawers, put my stuff back in my closets. And my wife came home, and she couldn't believe it. What are you doing here? I don't know. I'm here, and I ain't leaving no more. But man, that's my story. Like it took a new shower curtain to get me to get me to see the real motive of my wife. She was trying. I'm not saying that our house was dirty, but our house wasn't that clean like that. And when I walked in there, it was like it was smelling like spring up in there, man. It was basically perfect up in there. So I knew that clicked, and man, maybe she's not planning on me coming back. So that is a good thing for you guys to consider, man. Another thing, open your eyes and see the clues about what's happening with your wife. Like a lot of times you can read things if you just open your eyes and focus on her. If you want to save your marriage and you leave, you will never see her and convince her that you are changing and want to be the husband she needs. Okay? Out of sight, out of mind. They will tell you they just need time. That's what they're going to tell you. Or they want a little space, or they don't have another man and aren't looking for one. Okay? A lot of women do have another man, or they have a emotional affair going on, or a lot of women don't. I don't know. That's your woman, and you should know. That's another thing. You should know when your woman's having an affair, man. You should know that. Really. It might take you a couple of weeks to find out, but if you open your eyes, you can look and see, man. You know. And I'm one of them camera dudes. Look, man, her phone's my phone. My phone's her phone. Her car's my car's her car. Why? Because in the eyes of God, we are one. We are one flesh. Her body belongs to me, and my body belongs to her when you get married. I don't playing that game of, well, what you looking through my phone for? Well, I'm your husband. I can do whatever I want. What are you in my purse for? Well, because I need something. I don't go in my wife's purse ever. But if I want to, I can. I don't see nothing wrong with it. You know why? For the reason of this. We don't have no secrets, ain't nothing personal. We belong to each other. And if more people thought like that, there'd be a lot less problems. Don't stop playing this game. Stop playing like people they do with their kids. Another bad parent syndrome. Your kids in the room, the door closed, and man, there's no way in hell that I'm gonna knock on the door before I go in my kid's room. Who? They don't pay no rent. I mean, what if they bought a piece of food? What if they bought a hamburger? What if they bought some eggs? What if they bought some toilet paper or some toothpaste? What if they bought some pillows and some pillows and sheet and pillowcases and bedspreads? They ain't pay one lick of rent. This is my place. Now, some of y'all might think that's harsh. That ain't harsh, man. That's keeping an eye on things. It's keeping an eye on things, man. It really is. It's your job and your responsibility to know what's going on in your house. Everybody running around with codes on their phones, and everybody running around with doors locked, and everybody running around in the refrigerator. In the refrigerator, everybody's food's marked. This is my food. This is your food. Man, that's craziness, man. That is separatism. That is for real separate. How you gonna build a great family when everybody's selfish? How you gonna do that? How you gonna build a great marriage when everybody's selfish? Everybody got secrets and stuff. To me, if you ain't got no secrets, why can I look at your phone? Why can't I look at your messages? What difference does it make what I do? You can look at mine. I don't care. It's right there. I don't have lock on my phone. My wife don't have a lock on her phone either. The kid, matter of fact, y'all heard this before. My kids would pick up my wife and my phone, just be going through it. I stopped my kids from picking up my phone. You know why? Because they start putting on them crazy apps on my phone and stuff. My phone don't work right. So I said, look, man, we got to stop. No, nobody pick up my phone if you below the age of 17. Because kids, 2-year-olds and 3-year-olds and 10-year-olds, they putting all this stuff on your phone. And my wife's phone, when my kids were growing up, my wife's phone never worked right. Why? Because all the memory was always taken up. The darn phone was acting crazy. Okay? So look, y'all, I get serious, but I understand that it's hard. The things I'm asking you to do are hard. But you know what? People hate change. It's painful at first. But man, here's the thing. The difference between me and a man in marriage crisis, because my wife knows I love her. She knows I have her best interest at heart. So do my kids. That's why we don't have problems like that. Like I told a guy, one of my clients last night, I said, hey man, I don't play this stuff, like my wife don't be going out in the dark and stuff unless she's already out coming from work or something. And another thing too, my wife ain't going to be out like that at nighttime. Another thing too, if I don't hear from my wife, it's pitch like this time of year, it gets dark at 5:30. It's pitch black out there. And here, your little wife, she walked in the parking lot all by herself, ain't got her keys ready, ain't got no mace, ain't got no gun. She ain't got nothing. She only went in the parking lot. It's 12 o'clock at night, 10 o'clock at night, 7 o'clock at night, and it's pitch black outside. Who's taking care of your wife, man? Who's taking care of your wife while you doing what you do? So I tell you, I play this game of, hey, I call my wife, hey, what you doing? Where are you at? You okay? Something happened? Where you at? How far away from you from home? Man, I don't play this stuff. It's my job to protect my wife, not Joe Blow, not the police officers, not the government, not the fire department. No, I am responsible for my wife. And you should be responsible for your wife too. And I don't care what she's talking about. You're trying to keep hold, you got some crazy women talking about, you're trying to keep tabs on me. You don't trust me. It has nothing to do with trust. Look, I told your mom and daddy when I married you, and I told God that I was going to love and protect you. And that's my job. So you can get mad all you want. I don't even care. But I tell you what, ain't nobody, and I train both of my wives, I trained them. Say, look, don't be walking around in Kroger and Macy's and Best Buy and Walmart and Meijer and stuff, not aware of what's happening around you. You a nice looking woman, man. And I don't care if your wife ain't nice looking. I don't care what kind your wife look. I don't care. That's not even the point. The point of it is it don't matter. Somebody thinks you look good. Or you got some knucklehead that's just crazy and want to harm somebody. If your wife is going out shopping and stuff, and she's parking all the way in the back with no, all the way back there by herself, and she's walking at night by herself, even if it's daytime, she up in the store and stuff, and she don't know where what's around her, if she's not just shopping and stuff and ain't paying attention to get people looking at her and stuff and being aware of what's happening, man, you ain't on your job. Your wife should not be out shopping and at least understand where her situation is. People worried about kids getting kidnapped. That ain't the problem, because most kids are so bad they bring them back. But my wife is precious, and that's how I treat her. And if I can help it, man, I am going to do all the measures it takes to make sure my wife is okay. And I know sometimes I can't be with her every time, and I can't call her, and I can't do that. But on a normal day-to-day basis, man, that's what I'm doing, man. My wife is precious to me. She is my everything. And if something happened to her, I don't know how I'd be. Just like your wife. Even if you and your wife having problems right now, just think about it, man. Something happened to your wife, man, you'd be devastated. That's why I tell guys in my program, hey, man, I'm telling you too, hey, man, I don't care if you and your wife are separated, man. You need to be calling her every day and ask her, is she okay? Is there any problem? Check on her. You know why? Because that's your job. That's your job, dude. I don't care if she pick up the phone tonight. Leave a message. Hey, baby, I'm just calling to make sure there's nothing happened to you and make sure you're okay. That's a thing that everybody should be doing with your wife. Your wife, most people's wives are 90 pounds up to 140, 50 pounds. That ain't no weight. That ain't nothing. You got 300 pound, 400 pound men, 150, 200 pound, 180, 90 pound, 225 pound men that are 3 or 4 times as strong as she is. I don't care if she does know taekwondo and all that kind of crazy mess. All he's got to do is grab her butt. It's over. It's over in like 2 seconds and ain't nobody going to see it. Please, man, do not let your wife stay up out there like this, man. It's your job to protect her. That's why I tell dudes, even after your wife, in the eyes of God, even if your wife divorces you, you are still her husband until you get an annulment, if you're Catholic. You are still responsible for that woman until there's an annulment that's been placed on her desk and your desk. A civil divorce don't mean nothing. That don't take away your responsibilities as her husband, her protector. Okay? So I had to call her. I must have hit a nerve on that one. So let me finish this real quick, caller. Let me finish this number 4. So another thing, what you must realize is once your wife reaches this point, she is only thinking about herself. She is selfish and wanting out. And if you leave, she will begin to convince herself to move on. She will say that she won't use the kids against you, but that will soon become apparent that this is a lie when you try to stay in the home and not leave. She will then get mad and say you are a stalker or your arguing is damaging the kids. This is a ploy that has been in the works for months or in many cases years to get your booty out of the house so she can move on and get rid of you. Oh, of course, she will deny it until the cows come home. But dude, if you fall for this one, you will regret it. Any divorce lawyer worth his salt will tell you do not leave. She may block your phone. She may block you on social media. Again, she may even change the locks. please, gentlemen, if you move out, the reason I'm saying what I'm saying, because at least if you decide you're going to move out or you already have, you at least know the deal. You at least know all the parameters of what's going to happen. If I move out, this is what's going to happen. And so at least you know what's coming and you can kind of prepare for that. All right. Okay. So that's next is number 5. And I will going to take my caller real quick. And I hope that they can hear me. Let me see. Oh, let me put where is it at? Live caller. There's live caller. Okay. Boot connected. Move it over. And here I come, caller.
Hello, Jerry.
Hello. Hey, how you doing?
Hey.
How you doing, buddy?
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Yeah, you did hit a trigger on that comment.
Go ahead and get in my butt. I must have said something wrong.
No, it's true. My wife had been abandoned by her mom and her dad. Dad was an alcoholic and her mom was forced out of the house. So she has an abandonment issue. So she always leaves when she doesn't know how to deal with situations. And she abandoned me at a restaurant down in Florida one time and walked 2.5 hours home in the dark.
Oh,
I said, I'm not having that with my wife. I'm going to teach her self-defense techniques to strike guys to know how to incapacitate them, being in the military.
Yeah.
So I would teach her verbatim, and I bet I taught her a half dozen things over 5 years of marriage. And she never understood why I was doing it on the fly, because my wife, like you said, she's a little bitty thing. She's only 130 pounds. And as strong as she is as a woman, she can't take on a guy your size or even my size.
Nah.
So I started teaching her things, and she would get mad at me. Then afterwards said, Misty, I have to teach you this, because if you don't know this, the next time you do something where you just are out in public and you don't know how to react instinctively, I said, it's not a problem for a guy to grab you and then to accost you. And so I agree with that stance. It's just I had to take the tactic that my grandfather always taught me. He says there's only 3 ways to learn. 1, you observe it. 2, you read about it. Or 3, you learn hands-on on the fly.
That's what I was going to say.
And I had to teach my wife hands-on on the fly, because that's the quickest way she learned. Because she has a learning disability. I think she was dyslexic when she was younger. So it's easier for me to teach her on the fly. And afterwards, I would have her practice the motions for striking and all that with me, and it made a big difference on her self-esteem and security. So at least people don't know her. She's an assassin in my eyes now, because if she had to, she could take down a guy your size without even blinking an eye now. But you have to do that, Jerry. So I agree with you. So that is a trigger. I just thought to mention it to the guys, and have a happy New Year, Jerry.
You too, man. Thanks for calling. Thanks for calling.
Bye.
Bye. All right. So hey, that's the deal, man. That's the deal. And he's right. But he left before I could say. I didn't want to hold him, but he left. One thing I think is, yeah, a woman can only pull off something like that. And I'm sure that he'll agree with me. And you can put it in the chat, man, if you don't or do. But one thing I noticed is, yes, you could teach your wife all these techniques and stuff, and she can learn self-defense, all this stuff, but it only works in a surprise, right? Like if the guy's even like 180, 170 pounds, 200 pounds, 250, doesn't matter. She has to surprise him. It has to be a surprise, right? She has to, that's her biggest advantage. Like, oh, I'm this weak woman, and then all of a sudden you lay this, you grab his nuts or kick him in the nut, for centuries what women have done. He don't expect it to come. So now that gives you your time to get away. Just because you know all these techniques and taekwondo, this ain't the movies, man. This ain't the movies. Smart women, they surprise them, kick them, or punch them, or hit them in the nose or break their jaw or something, and then they're like out of there. They're like running. A real woman's not gonna sit there and try to go against a 200-pound man. Because eventually going toe to toe with him, you're gonna run out. I mean, you're gonna get tired, and all he's got to do is get his hands on you, and it's over. Okay, so that's a good one. That's a good one. So real quick, let me get out of this. Let me go back. Other than that, okay, so that's number 4. And so real quick, we're gonna take a break, and then I will be right back. Bam. Get live Catholic marriage help Tuesday through Thursday, 10 a.m. Eastern. Live streamed on YouTube, Rumble, Facebook, and CatholicAlpha.com. If you're getting value from this podcast and would like more personal marriage help, visit SaveMyCatholicMarriage.com for an opportunity to work with me personally for free. Yes, within 30 days, learn how to become a better husband that attracts your wife back to you. Visit SaveMyCatholicMarriage.com and get a plan tailored specific to your marriage and situation. I've helped hundreds of men in their marriages. Allow me the chance to help you using my personal and gained experience. Visit SaveMyCatholicMarriage.com for superior coaching for your marriage. Again, SaveMyCatholicMarriage.com. That's SaveMyCatholicMarriage.com to become the man God created you to be and the husband your wife needs. Lastly, I always get the question, why don't you help women? And I always answer them, I do. So, for all of you beloved wives out there that want to reignite that feeling of emotional closeness and complete love from your hubby, consider marriage coaching and visit SaveMyCatholicMarriage.com for an improved marriage within 30 days. Okay, we are back, and we are basically done for the day. We'll have a part 2 tomorrow. But I have a couple comments here, and let me see. So the last caller just said the best way to learn is a surprise. That is why I did it without telling her. Yep, exactly. That's my whole point. Great point. Great point. And then the other comment is let me see this. Is what if the wife is going out every weekend committing adultery? I couldn't take it anymore and eventually moved out. Okay, so here's the deal. Even in those circumstances, I would not suggest you move out, because basically if you move out and your wife doesn't have to come home to you, so there's no one to look at to get her straight, to be like, there's no shame really anymore. Because another thing too is most relationships are rebound relationships, and if we move out, then that lets the relationship go on longer and longer and longer, and they might even get married or something, But most adulterous situations are temporary. And if as a husband, the way you handle it is you don't talk about it, you don't mention it, you don't consult, you don't talk to her about it, you don't confront him, you don't confront her, because when you start doing that kind of stuff, then somebody's gonna get hurt, which most people know that. So the way you handle that, if your wife is cheating, you still stay in the home, and if you got to separate yourself, like in the basement or in a different room or something, that's cool. But you still don't want to be this mean ogre. Now, what does that mean? If your wife, a lot of guys wouldn't agree with me on this. I'm just telling you what works. Okay? Get mad at your wife and confront her, trying to beat the guy up, calling the police, calling this big ruckus, arguing and fighting in front of the kids, all that stuff. That does not solve nothing. Matter of fact, that just pushes your wife in the hands of the other guy more, especially if you attack him. Even if he kicks your butt or you kick his butt, what'll happen is you will connect her and him even more. So you stay in the house and you bide your time. You learn how to be a better husband. You learn how to be a better man. You improve your relationship with God. And when that relationship fails, which most of them do, then your wife will come home and you'll there. She'll start to lean on you. And this whole time, you're being loving, you're being caring. Now, I'm not saying having sex with a woman that's having sex with somebody else. I'm not saying condone it. I'm just telling you what works, because your job, another thing too, the reason most time the reason a woman is with another man is because she's trying to fill the void that she wasn't getting from her husband. So whose fault is that? Yes, it's exactly her fault that she's out doing that, but it's also the husband's fault that he didn't take care of business with his wife. Now, a lot of guys ain't gonna agree with me with that. I'm just letting you know what works and what keeps you out, as keeps the husband out of jail. Because what'll happen is if you confront that guy, what'll happen is somebody's gonna get a bruise or get beat up, and somebody's gonna call the police, and one person or two people are going to jail, you and him. All right. So that's how you handle an adultery situation, man. Really. Moving out and leaving your kids is not the way. It's not the way. And tomorrow we're going to go with number 5, 6, 7, and 8. And I'm going to tell you, and we're going to go exactly into this in more depth of my point of you should never leave your home as a husband and why. Okay. So my man, I hope that, I hope that helps. I'm sorry. I hope that helps, guys. That answer, man, that's a great question. Great question. Okay. So let me hide it. All right. So, tomorrow we're going to do part 2, and I hope you guys are around. It's the last show of the week. I hope the things we talked about today helped you. I get passionate about this stuff because I've been there and I know what seems like it's right ain't right. It just makes things worse. And so my job is, like I do with all my fellas in my program, I try my best not to tell you what to do. What I try to do is give you as many angles as I can so that you and the Holy Spirit and me can make the decision together. Because I don't want you going and say, man, I did what you said, man, and then it was worse or whatever. Well, that happens sometimes. I'm not perfect, but most of the time that's not what happens. That's why I try to help. We try to come to a decision, mostly you as the client. You try to come to the decision on your own so you can see how it works. But my job is to let you know all the things that could happen, and my experience of what has happened before, so that way you can make an informed decision like a starship captain, like Captain Kirk, baby. All right. So we are done for today. And as we always do, we end with a quote from Pope Benedict XVI, which states, society offers you comfort, but you weren't made for comfort. You were made for greatness. Now go forth, Christian soldier. The spiritual fight is up on you. Fast, pray, and prepare for battle. Thank you for listening in today. If what you heard helped you in any way and you would like more personal attention, visit SaveMyCatholicMarriage.com for superior marriage coaching. And remember to join the Catholic Alpha Radical Live podcast as a caller or listener every Tuesday through Thursday, 10 a.m. Eastern. To join as a caller, dial area code 313-RADICAL. To join as a listener or view the live stream, visit the Catholic Alpha Radical Live Facebook page or visit CatholicAlpha.com for Catholic marriage help that actually works. Bam!